Okay, in lieu of an opening statement, we're going to take a couple questions for Coach Davis first, then we'll entertain questions for the student athletes, let them go back to the locker room, and we'll continue to coach. First question to our right.
Josh Graham, WSJS. Coach, you said about a month ago it's very important to you how Armando finishes his career. To see what he did tonight, just how special was it watching from your viewpoint?
Yeah, it is. It's been on my mind all season, you know, especially a lot more towards the end that, you know, what Armando has meant to me personally, but what he's meant to this program and this university and this community. And I just told him in the locker room, I said, wherever all my comments come from is there is a desperation because I want Armando and everyone, I want them to be able to see and experience the things that us as coaches have seen and experienced. That's where it comes from. And I was just really proud of Armando. Somebody just made a stat, what was it, 15 rebounds, 6 straight NCAA tournament games. I mean, that's unreal. And can't think of a better person to be able to do that than Armando.
Back left.
Yeah, Hubert, obviously, you know, Jay Witt with the, you know, double-double off the bench, particularly in the first half, obviously getting to the free throw line a lot, things like that. How did you kind of see his activity, you know, really start to, I guess, set the tone a little bit early on in that game?
I agree with you. I think he did set the tone. I felt like in the first half, at times we were out of character from the standpoint we weren't finishing the defensive possession with a rebound. When we did, we always talk about making the easy play, limiting turnovers, and I think we had 6 in the first half, and they were all unforced. But Jay Witt, his energy and effort on both ends of the floor really ignited us and got us the lead going into halftime. I mean, he came off the bench, and his production was real.
Okay, questions now for Armando, RJ, and Jaylen, and please address the questions to a specific student athlete. First question here.
John Treach, WCCB, Charlotte. Jaylen, I'm sure there's a ton of risk and challenges involved anytime you transfer, but to have your best game as a Tar Heel come in your hometown in the NCAA tournament, how rewarding is that?
It's extremely rewarding. I mean, you know, honestly, having a double-double in front of, you know, a lot of my family members in the stands and, you know, contributing to the win is great, honestly. First time in the tournament, so I mean, doing that in the first game is definitely surreal.
Middle of the room to our right.
Yeah, Kelly Blackmore for the Niner Times. Just going off of that, Jaylen, you know, you're from Charlotte. What does it mean to you to just have the game you did today and just having the opportunity to play in your hometown?
It means a lot. I mean, last outing that I had, or that we had here when we played Oklahoma, kind of got into foul trouble and ended up not really having the best playing time, I guess. So I think that I kind of wanted to make a statement this game.
Second row in front of me.
Jeremy Grandison, ESPN Charlotte. Armando, one part of your game that sticks out to me is your patience and your constant movement. You go to the elbow, that's not there. You go to the post-up, you switch sides. Can you just talk about your progression as a player and how it allows you to have stat lines like this consistently?
Something we worked on every day in practice. At the beginning of practice, we always work on our post feeds, and early on in the year, I felt like at times I was a little impatient, not being able to find my spots, but ever since we started working on that, I've been a lot more comfortable in just figuring out my spots and not feeling like I need to rush anything.
Right aisle.
Aaron Beard with the AP. This is for Jaylen. Sort of piggybacking off the earlier questions, Hubert was saying you set the tone. There was a lot of energy and activity you brought in the paint. What was sort of your mindset about, you know, being aggressive, getting on the glass, getting to the rim, running the court the way you did in the first half in particular?
HD typically challenges us before the game and sometimes at half, you know, saying that it doesn't need to be only an Armando Bacot rebounding game or a Harrison Ingram rebounding game. He challenges everybody else to, you know, help out and clean up on the glass.
Third row in front of me. Third row.
Dennis Cox, 99 on the Fan, WRL Sports in Raleigh. RJ Davis, for you. You guys spoke earlier this week about the tempo of the game, how Wagner slows the game down a little bit. Do you guys feel like you're able to play at the pace that you want to play tonight?
I think in the first half, we didn't do a good job of getting down to primary break. We had 0 fast break points going to the halftime, so the emphasis in the second half was try to get out and run, because that's a big advance for us, especially when we're playing in primary and getting easy layups. And we did a good job of, you know, kind of turning the ball over and getting finished in easy layups. I know there was a play when I threw the ball to Elliott and then Jay Witt finished with a dunk. So those are the type of plays that we needed.
Third row to my right.
Josh Graham again, WSJS. Armando, you've got, as Steve was talking about, 15 rebounds and 6 straight NCAA tournament games. You've got the TurboTax ads and all. Just how much, after last year missing out on this, just how much do you enjoy March?
It's a great feeling, but I've enjoyed this whole year just being able to be back with so many great teammates and a great coaching staff. And we've had a lot of fun, and we don't plan on going home soon. So, yeah, that's really it.
Second row, same side.
Brett Friedlander, SaturdayRoad.com. RJ, in the NCAA tournament, you always want to get a little bit better every round you go. What areas do you think between now and Saturday are the areas that you guys want to get a little bit better at?
Attention to detail is definitely number one. I feel like sometimes throughout the game today, we slacked off in that area a little bit. And on defensive end, I think there was a couple of times in the first half there was miscommunication or no communication that kind of led to open threes or getting the 50-50 loose balls. And we're usually on top of that. So we got to do a better job of going into Saturday because Michigan State is a really good ball club, and we just got to come ready to play.
Back left, last question for the student athletes.
Brendan Lunga, the Daily Tar Heel. Armando, what is it about the NCAA tournament that brings out the best in you? And did you feel like you wanted to come in and make a statement today after what happened last year?
I mean, it's win or go home. I mean, lose or go. If you lose, you go home. So it's just one of those things where it's just even more sense of urgency to just go out there and play my best. And all year we've worked to get to this point. So just super locked in and trying to win.
Okay, guys, thanks. Good job. Armando.
Now, one note, RJ passed Lenny Rosenbluth for 5th in scoring, and Armando passed Phil. That's pretty amazing, those guys passing those two guys in one way.
Yeah, but we tough.
Y'all head back to the locker room if you want to.
See hands.
And the locker room remains open.
Congratulations, that's awesome.
You mean me, right, Phil? Okay, questions for Coach Davis. No further questions? Oh, front row. Second row, rather.
Hubert, I'll ask you the same question that I asked RJ. What areas do you feel like are the most important to make that little improvement between this round and the next?
I just, when I talked about that, I felt like at times we were out of character in the first half. We just got to be better defensively. We talk about finishing each possession defensively, 1, without fouling, and 2, getting the rebound. And we just got to do a better job at that. It hasn't been any secret. We've identified what allows us to have success, and that's get after it defensively, rebound, and take care of the basketball. And I felt like in the first half, we had moments where we weren't checking any of those boxes. And that's something, as you continue to move forward and, specifically against Michigan State, you just can't do that. You got to be sound in all 3 of those areas.
Third row in front of me.
Coach, second round matchups rarely have traditional heavyweights like Michigan State and North Carolina. As a basketball fan and a guy who's been in the game, can you appreciate this spot?
Well, being a part of the NCAA tournament for 4 years as a player and as an assistant for 9 years and been a head coach for 3 years, but 2 years in the NCAA tournament, the second round has always been real. So I can't remember a time. My junior year, we played Villanova. That's 2 heavyweights. The year in 2017, we won the championship. It was us against Arkansas, 2 heavyweights. And so when it gets down to the round of 32, there's only 32 teams left. So that round is normally going to be 2 extremely good programs. And we're excited about the challenge of playing against a great Michigan State team.
Hubert, Anthony Pagnotta, WFNZ in Charlotte. Just wondering, we see Jaylen Withers. He started to show signs of improvement as the season has, come down the stretch. Is there really a moment from him that you started to see some things sort of click this year?
No, I mean, I always tell the guys that when, and I specify when your opportunity comes. I can't tell you when, where, how, and which, but when it does come, you got to be ready. And, Jay Witt is always, when his number is called, has always been ready. Also, it is a big transition to go from one program or one team to another team. I've experienced that in the NBA personally, and even these kids, it's even more. They're doing it at 18, 19 years old, and they're changing not only programs but teams, but they're changing institutions where they, from an academic standpoint, it's a big deal. And so it takes time for guys to get acclimated on and off the court to allow on the court to be at your best. And I just feel like for Jay Witt, it's just continue to get more comfortable every day and to get him to a point where he had a game like this today.
Any other questions? All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
He broke Phil's record. I'm really honored that he broke my record.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you. Good job.